There is no reality outside of their own perspective, outside of their own existence. That there is no existence without their ability to perceive it. And I was like, no, that's not true.
Well, how do you know that's not true?
Because if you were to be deleted from existence, existence would still continue without you. Same for me. If a meteor were to crash onto me right now, you still would continue. I'm just making an assumptive leap.
How do you know that? You're also making, you're assuming that's true.
There's a little bit of a logical leap I'm taking, yeah.
Yeah, we don't actually know if we disappeared that reality would continue.
Well, I've
We can, yeah.
but I mean it's a ridiculous thing because if I were to sit next to you and slap you in the face, you would feel the pain and I wouldn't. So I have to either believe that you're a real person or you're not a real person.
Well, like in a dream, if you punch someone in the face, you don't feel it.
What?
If you're dreaming and you punch someone in the face, you don't feel the pain, but they seem to.
Yeah, so?
Yet neither you nor that person actually exist. It was just a dream. So like that doesn't really, you can't use that to prove anything either.
Right, but there's a difference between sleep dreaming and what this is, reality.
How do you know this isn't the same kind of phenomenon?
It feels different. I don't have any real, I've never been able to be aware in my own dream.
You don't have any evidence that this isn't also a type of dream.
Yeah, I'm having to, as I breathe and I center in on the moment, I'm having to assume that what we're experiencing is real.
The same assumption is made in a dream.
That assumption's not made in a dream for me.
You don't even question it.
There's no questioner. There's no nothing. There's just the character is so fully asleep in its own play, whatever form it takes in the dream, that there is no awareness.
Could the dreamer, I mean, people lucid dream all the time and are aware that they're dreaming. They become aware that they're not the character in the dream.
Right, but they're aware that it's a dream if they're lucid dreaming. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and so they're aware that if they were to take their giant god hand and smash it on a town, they wouldn't actually be harming anyone.
Right. So I'm saying that your unawareness that you're dreaming is not proof that this isn't a dream because you are aware.
Your unawareness? I don't understand.
So if someone can be aware that it's you used the fact that you said that because your character is asleep in the dream and here you seem to be awake to the reality of the character, that somehow being identified fully as a character proves that it's a dream, but that doesn't hold. That's what you said.
I don't know why my brain wasn't able to follow that line of thought right now. I think I need another cup of coffee. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, but so far you haven't provided any evidence other than your feeling that
You can't provide any evidence that you're feeling anything. Nobody can provide evidence about the nature of their own experience. That's my point. But when you assume that the evidence proves that other people or that existence doesn't occur without me, that's absurd. You can't use your own
you have no evidence that's absurd.
right. Yeah, I'm
You're
just I'm just talking.
You feel that it's absurd. It doesn't make sense to you, but yet not making sense to you or feeling right doesn't prove anything.
It doesn't. I'm not trying to. I'm not proving. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just saying that it's ridiculous to think that existence stops because you're gone. It's
And
completely nihilistic.
I'm that's not an argument though. I'm saying just because you say it's ridiculous or absurd doesn't have any weight on whether or not it's true. It could well be true, but the only argument or evidence you're presenting is that you think it's ridiculous or absurd.
Yeah, I mean, there's no whether it's true or not is irrelevant.
So why are you so confident that you're going to declare their view as absurd?
Because the point or the let's see, because the space out of which they're projecting it, the fact that they're projecting that point of view tells me everything I need to know about the fault in that view.
Explain.
This person has decided or believes that if they don't exist, if they can't perceive reality, there is no existence. That's what they're sharing with me. That's what they're saying. And I'm saying that's wrong.
You could be a character in their dream.
I'm
When they wake
100% a character in their dream.
So when they wake up from the dream, you might very well disappear.
Wait, what? When they wake up from the dream?
If you're a character in their dream, truly, when they wake up from the dream, you will truly disappear.
Yes, just like anybody who wakes up. The topic for today, what is you're enlightened, now what? Anybody that wakes up, there's no more people. There's just happenings. You're
No,
enlightened, now what?
no. I'm saying literally, if they're dreaming and you're a character, you're a projection in their dream, even though you feel that you're real, when they wake up from their dream, you will disappear.
Yeah. That's waking up. Yeah.
I'm not talking about waking up in like an enlightenment or awakening sense.
What are you talking about?
They're literally a person asleep dreaming, having a dream in their bed right now. And that you're a character in that dream.
But that's not what's happening. That is not what's happening.
How do you know that?
I don't need to know that. I don't need to know it or not know it. Good morning, bird.
Honestly, that sounds like what a dream character trying to prove their own existence would say.
Wait, I'm not trying to prove anything.
I don't understand why you're saying you have certainty that that's not the case.
I mean, certainty as far as I recognize that this exists, and if I get deleted, if my consciousness just blinks out, like I said, meteor crashes into this room, I'm like 99.9% positive that you will still continue. And you too, Bird, good morning. And you too, Bennett, good morning.
I'm just asking
you got if I'm gone, if I die randomly here, like meteor in my room, I'm 99.9% positive everybody else gets to continue existing.
I mean, a lot of people are positive that the earth is flat.
I mean, but what I'm saying isn't like it's.
I'm just asking what your evidence is. That's all.
I don't have any.
Okay. It's just a feeling. It just seems true.
It just seems reasonable to exist in a world that we interact with each other. And
I mean, how many beliefs have you had over your life that seemed reasonable at the time, but were totally wrong?
But I've had the belief that if I die, everything dies, and it's not a helpful belief. It doesn't serve anything.
Does helpfulness prove whether or not the belief is true?
For me, if a belief is helpful and opens me up to new ideas or new ways of perceiving or new ways of being, to me, it's a helpful idea. And yes, Bird, we're talking about solipsism.
Yeah, so now we've returned to solipsism, where if it's helpful to you, then it's true enough.
Wait, what? No, I'm just saying that a soliptic worldview, from my experience, is not a helpful worldview. People can have whatever worldview they want. I'm not claiming to be the arbiter of truth. I'm just saying when someone tells me that existence is because I perceive it, I'm saying no. You could not perceive it and existence would still be.
Isn't it soliptic or solipsistic to say because it doesn't seem true to you, then it must not be true?
I'm not. Who's saying that? I don't know
You
who's
are.
saying that. No, I'm not. I'm
You're not. Pre-
sharing this point of view.
I know it, but you're presenting no evidence, and just saying it seems true. It's 99% seems true to you, and if it's helpful or not helpful, that's how you decide what's true as far as beliefs go.
And I would encourage anybody, whoever falls into this conversation and is interested in this, to discover it for yourself. That's my hey, my message on the billboard. The first thing is you're wrong. The second thing is discover. Actually,
Yeah,
not you're wrong. The billboard would say be wrong. I think we should all be more wrong. How evolution works. How did your consciousness come about without being born? Your parents would have to have been there before you. There's another leap, an assumptive leap. You
my
can't.
favorite.
I can't prove that my parents birthed me. I have no way of knowing my actual real parents. They could show me the pictures, and I go, "This is Truman. This is Truman Show right now."
We can, I mean, you can, just like I did, you can question anything epistemically. I don't know if that's the correct term, epistemologically. um, but you can question the source of knowledge and always have doubt. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you can, like, I wasn't there when they wrote the birth certificate, but that was presented to me as evidence. Um, but the fact is, just because someone presents what they're telling you as proof of something doesn't mean it's true.
Right. So even you asking me for the evidence of what I'm saying is doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you own the evidence you present or not is. But okay, so I'll go back. I will stand on the fact that you can't just say their viewpoint is absurd. You don't have any ground to stand on by saying that.
Well, I could say my viewpoint is absurd.
Yeah, you could yeah, but there's not you don't really have any like authoritative knowledge or evidence to use that you're going to stand on to declare that what they're saying is absurd. It could be true is what I'm saying. So like saying like it doesn't you could say it doesn't make sense to me what you're saying, but to declare it as absurd or ridiculous is a step too far.
Um. Okay. Hey, Ennis Strumick, good morning. At 11 a.m., you're in the Discord. Just hop into the you'll see in Discord, you'll see that me and Reed are in the channel called Adam and Reed Record. Yeah, just hop in there at 11, and that's there's no link. You just have to just join the voice channel. But yeah, you want to start us off? Guys, I just pressed record and stream because me and Reed started getting into it. We don't argue. I wouldn't say that Reed and I argue. I would say that we discuss things, at least, yeah, very emotionally, intensely,
It's
intentionally.
definitely an argument, and I'm trying to show Adam that he's totally wrong.
So I guess Bird wants to know what's the argument about. What arguments are we making and who's making what? I don't know anymore. I was just saying there was somebody on TikTok who told me that the only reason existence is because they can perceive it. And I said no.
Is
That
it, hold on,
was that was it.
did you misunderstand what they're saying though?
I could have. Yeah. I very well could have. Listen.
Because I mean, one way to look at that is like the only the only thing you'll ever know is your experience. You'll never have direct knowledge of anything. All you know is that there is some could be some kind of world that's filtered through your senses and you're getting a mental projection of it. You will never have access to anything outside of your own head. You never have direct access to anything outside your own head. You only see what's been filtered and processed by your brain. So in that sense, your reality, experientially, the only thing you'll ever know is your own existence, is the inside of your brain. So in that sense, it's true. in one sense, the world does end when we disappear because the world we know and live in is inside our head.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. But
But if we
I would never say that you Do you hear that?
it's someone just join in, you'll need to
Is
mute
that
their
what happened?
yeah.
Hello. I'm gonna try to pronounce your name.
I'm muting them
Why?
because it was causing an echo.
It's still causing an
Feedback.
echo.
Not for me. I don't hear it.
Do I still hear it? No, I muted it now too. So Ed Matria, just get your video on and get your mic working without an echo. We can have you on here.
I thought we were starting at 11.
It looks like they did not follow the directions.
Well, we can. Yeah, we're gonna start at 11.
Okay. All right. Do you want to open up with the topic? What we decided?
We have a few things. What did we decide?
Well, I've got two that on our text message thing.
Which one did you like best? Want to poll the audience?
I titled it. I titled this talk. I titled the stream as "You're enlightened now. What?"
Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Hey, there he is. Hold on, let me fix this up. Wow, this is can you hear me, Reed?
He's muted.
I know, but I gotta make sure that we can see him. I'm adjusting the screen here so everybody can see at Matria. Oh, wait, let me unmute you too.
No, I've got to mute him. There's a huge feedback loop.
Is it still?
Is it now?
I muted. I had to mute Mr. Maitreya.
I think you gotta mute me.
Okay. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Speak. Adam.
I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you if I mute you.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get you set up here. And then I'm gonna fix the echo.
It's because on that screen you're projecting the whole stream, so you're getting double voices out of.
You're right. I'm gonna stop my virtual camera. How about now?
So is it okay now?
No, I'm still getting an echo.
When you mute me, what happens then?
When we mute your screen, there's no more feedback.
Maybe because of this fourth one.
Yes. No. I gotta mute you again.
It's actually I hear him fine. I only hear me and Reed echoed.
It's because for his screen, you're showing the whole live stream, and so I'm hearing audio feedback.
Oh, because I'm showing.
You're projecting the whole stream, yeah, not just his Discord or whatever.
What should I do to fix it?
Well, display his screen how you display mine.
Oh, okay. How did I Discord guest? Read Discord guest.
Sorry, Mr. Maitreya. Technical difficulties will be with you in just a moment. I like your setup, by the way.
Window capture. All right, I'm going to capture just like I'm capturing read. Okay. Capture audio.
You don't want to capture the audio from that because that'll capture my voice twice.
Okay, what should I do to capture his audio then?
I don't know, bro. This is your
Okay.
this is your job to have this figured out.
All right, I think this might work though because do you hear the echo again?
Well, I've got his thing muted. Let me see. Yes, I hear the echo.
Maybe kick me out, and then maybe when I come back, maybe it will be better.
Wait. Okay. It's so weird. You sound normal on mine, but I hear my voice echoed.
I'm just hearing a huge feedback loop. Yeah, whenever you talk, I'm hearing it from you.
I think I need to leave and come back.
Why do I still hear a feedback from my own voice?
Even when I was gone?
Yeah. Wait, it's gone now. Well, that's because he's muted again. That's why. No, I don't. It's gone now.
Are we good?
I think so. Yeah, I don't hear any feedback.
And now, when my mic is on,
Yeah. Now I hear feedback again.
So it's when his mic is on that we get feedback.
Think so. Now I don't hear it.
how about now?
I can hear my voice play back.
So the best is that I leave, and maybe next time me and Adam can test before I come in, because we don't want to interrupt this live for our viewers.
Yeah, that might be what we have to do. Yeah, you'll have to set up with Adam.
Yeah. Just go ahead and continue, guys.
I'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you very much.
Man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything's normal now.
Dude, that sucks. I wanted to talk to him.
You gotta get it. This shit squared away before the middle of the show.
Why did it do that? It didn't do that when we had Joe on.
I don't know.
I'm so bummed out. I think my day is ruined.
Well, you'll get over it in about 15 seconds.
No, but he has had such a soft voice and it seems so pleasant. I wanted to talk to him.
I know. I wanted to hear him too. It was probably the best thing that was ever going to happen to the show, and
yeah,
you blocked it, Adam. You didn't have it ready.
Dang it!
Next week,
man,
next week for sure.
I kind of want to go off the air, fix this up, and then come back on at 11.
No.
Dang.
Let's talk about how you're feeling right now. Tell us.
I feel terrible. I feel like I just feel like I really it's like, what does it feel like? It's like you find out that you're going to get to go to Six Flags. And then they're like, yeah, nope, you're not going to Six Flags. And it's because of the things you didn't do. It's like you didn't do your chores, so you can't go to Six Flags. It's like, well, let me go do the chores now real quick so then we can go to Six Flags. That's what it feels like.
Is there a feeling of responsibility or just blame?
No blame, no responsibility. Just like, well, this is why we can't go to Six Flags. Let's fix it so we can.
Well, here's the
There's no one to blame.
Why is there no feeling of responsibility?
Disappointment. Yeah, that's a good word, Bird. It's just disappointment. I don't know. There's no responsibility because there's nothing anyone could have done. Like it's like.
That's not true. You could have set up beforehand and made sure all the audio is working correctly. If your job is to find guests and interview people and set up a live stream, then that's totally your responsibility.
Right, but there was an outside variable. Something I still don't know why it didn't work.
It's like lack of preparation and knowledge. That's not an outside variable.
Bro, how many rocket ships does it take to transcend the atmosphere? How many rocket ships blew up while trying to get to the moon?
Getting audio on a live stream is not an unknown rocket science.
Yeah, but you don't know where the problem is until...
So you set up with someone beforehand, you make sure all that stuff's set up, all the audio is good. Like a band doesn't go on the stage without having someone tested the sound system first. They don't just walk out there, hope it works, and then fix a problem in the middle of the show. They already know that it works. Because they tested it. They did the setup, they did the tests, then they go on the show.
Right. Well, we did that with Joe. It worked fine, and for some reason today it didn't work. And we still have to we tested it with Joe. We still have to figure out why it didn't work with Matreo.
You don't test one show once and then go set up somewhere else and think it's going to work because you tested it at the last auditorium you were at.
So you test. So you're saying you do a sound check every time before you go live.
Absolutely.
So I got to get you and a third person online to test the sound before we go live every week.
You would test the audio with the person at some point, make sure that the setup is good. And then maybe you could do that a day before or something, you know?
Okay. Okay, well, here's what I want to do. I want to and make a Google event. I want to make a Google event. I want to send it to Matreo and try to solve the problem.
Well, I mean, we had a plan for a show. It was going to come on at 11, and then we had stuff to talk about.
Wait a second. Bennett, is that what you think it is? He had our stream opened, and that's why we heard the echo? Dude, could that have been it? Matreo, did you have the stream opened while you were in the Discord?
I mean, I think it was something on his end.
The guest's mic was picking up you guys. That's what it was.
Yeah. Or I don't know if his mic was, but something on his end was. I mean, that was a dynamic mic pointed straight at his face, so it wouldn't have picked us up.
Maybe, hey Matreo, did you have the stream open too while you were listening to us? Simon says, hey, this is what Simon says. Simon says, as long as you learn and alter, that's all that matters.
Yes.
Tech can be glitchy. We all need people to push our buttons sometimes. 3 times a charm, you can only try. Okay, so maybe Matreo can fix it on his end and figure out what's wrong, and we can try to bring him back in a little bit. Until then, do you want to start with the topic?
Yes, you pull the thing you want to talk about.
Oh, I get to decide?
Yes.
Let's see.
Let's work it out after the show, and then we'll come in clean next show.
Okay, Matreo, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
All right, so since we're already in my feelings, let's go with this one. What is spirituality anyway, and why is Adam mad about it?
Yeah, okay.
I'm already in my feelings.
Yeah, yeah, what is spirituality? I think it's actually more difficult to answer than maybe it seems. I think most people have a working. I think people assume they know what it means, or just kind of have this assumed understanding. But at least for me, like the more I try to actually look at it and define it, the more wiggly it gets, and the more I find, well, what I thought was spirituality is actually either psychology or philosophy or metaphysics, or just a discipline.
Uh-oh. I
Did we
lost
just
you.
yeah, did we just lag out? Okay, great.
Today is the day.
Well, where did I cut out?
I don't know. You're talking about something. I don't know. I don't know. I want Matreo back. No, you were talking about spirituality and how we confuse it with psychology and philosophy and
Yeah,
um,
philosophy, metaphysics, a disciplined lifestyle, whatever. So like what it was actually difficult for me to pin down where spirituality it begins and what it actually is. But we didn't talk about it on the phone, and you said the subject made you mad, which I'm not. I don't know why or what. So we're gonna what what is this burning anger inside of you that is consuming your life in regards to spirituality?
so it was the question of what is spirituality. It made me upset because I guess my perspective on spirituality is it's unknowable. Whatever it is, it's unknowable. To actually have an idea of what it is frustrating because we've got hundreds of systems, quote unquote, spiritual systems of people talking about what it is. It's not it's the whole point is it's unknowable. So why the hell is anybody running around talking about what it is?
Well, why do you think it's unknowable? You must have an idea of spirituality to be able to declare that it's unknowable. Like it sounds like you've got a system just like everybody else, and in your system, it has something to do with undefined, unknowable stuff.
It's experiential. The limits of my own senses, the limits of my own experience have been reached. I have reached the limits of my own ability as a being in a body to know. The only way change or any change or adjustment of my own being, the only reason any of that has occurred is through the unknowing, through not knowing. It hasn't came from anybody who told me what this is or told me what that is or said to do this eightfold path or that. It wasn't even, and at a time I thought it was because of my own self-discovery, my own honest expressions and examinations. That wasn't it either. It was complete and utter unknowing. It is complete and utter unknowing. That's what this
So,
is.
do you associate spirituality with inner change then? Inner transformation?
No, I mean, you can have self development, you can have personal growth, everybody can try those things, and whether they work or not is up to a person to realize for themselves.
So, is it about getting to the extent of what you know and what you don't know?
So you said at the beginning of this episode, I can't actually know anything outside of my own experience or my own brain. That's what you said, correct? I can't
Yeah, I think
actually,
that's true. It seems to be true.
and spiritual is opening up to the mystery that maybe there's something beyond my own brain.
Okay. Okay, it has something to do with that. Yeah, I would agree.
And I get frustrated because the moment a person starts telling me what that is, I'm going, no, you're missing it.
So, you think that anyone who seems to have a concrete definition of spirituality is not talking about spirituality.
No, no, that's not what I would say. Because I think everything, life is like some weird mirage or some weird like tapestry that adjusts itself based on you. So you're shown the things. Like every person is shown things, and it's up to their own, I guess, their own philosophy, their own perspective, their own whatever, to grapple with it, to make sense of it for themselves. So I wouldn't say that.
The words written on a page are the same words for everyone, but each person reads a different meaning and story.
Yeah, you could even read it slower or faster, or like here's the sentence from Simon: Adam moves his apple with Eve's help. Adam. Then I got to think what an atom is. Moves. What is moving? His. What is his? You could go slow, you could go fast. You're going to apply meaning and context to anything that you're experiencing.
Even if someone explains their spiritual system to you, there's an assumed context for each of the words they're using. Even the nuanced meaning of everything that someone is telling you is variable for each hearer.
But the assumed context is implied by every hearer, any hearer.
The hearer is the context in a way. It's everything their brain contains is the. So we still haven't touched on what spirituality is, though. So what is it that's. What is it? What does it encompass? How about that? What is the discipline or the framework or the idea of spirituality encompass?
It's I guess the way to look at it, I guess the way I look at it is, in Minecraft, in Minecraft you arrive on the world and you don't know what the hell you're doing or what anything is. So you start to make up reasons for things, or you discover reasons for things. That's all that is. Nobody knows why the hell we're here, what the hell this is, and we're coming up with all this stuff about what it is. Inherently, it's spiritual. Inherently, we don't have any clue what the hell's going on or why it's happening.
So spirituality is an attempt to explain existence.
Spirituality is an acknowledgement of the unknown, the unknowable, as it lives, breathes, and expresses itself in this moment and every moment. And how into spirituality you want to be or out of it you want to be is up to the person.
So,
I could tell you a story.
Okay.
The woman in the 13th century who didn't go to church on Sunday because she saw that every moment, everywhere she was worthy of honoring God. She was in church at all times, and they executed her. That's spirituality. It's just wakening up to that, being awake to that.
So it has something to do with God.
Well, if you want to use that term, I just
Well,
like the
whatever term to, yeah.
Yeah, the miraculous unknowing of existence and experience itself.
So I would say, yeah, it has spirituality is my relationship with this thing that's greater than I, greater than all eyes, seems to be behind everything, and is beyond the mind, but isn't just something material, because there's tons of stuff that's beyond my mind. We're talking about beyond our known material reality, beyond a concept, beyond a mental reality, beyond a conceptual reality. It's a relationship with that, and not just a relationship like I have a relationship with a tree or a rock outside my house, but it seems to be a relationship that I change as a result of being in. Like I experience a transformation. I don't remain static in a relationship with this thing. That's my experience with it, and I think I think spiritual seekers would agree that there seems to be a transformation involved in relationship with this thing. No one remains the same if you're truly in relationship. It seems to know better than I do what's best for me somehow. I think all those things are within the realm of spirituality. Does that sound like we're in the ballpark?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough though because yeah, it's tough though because it's hard to describe it. Like the reason why I get so frustrated is the anthropomorphizing of an entity frustrates me.
Yeah, and I don't think that necessarily has to have anything to do with spirituality. Um, but it can. Um, but no, it's like, yeah, you start if you're talking about having a relationship with something undefinable. I mean, you gotta give it a body, even if it's just a conceptual body, and we do that. Like you've given a body to the unknowable by calling it the unknowable, even though
No,
I know that you don't. It's a body that's out there, and it's for
it's not.
communication. When you say unknowable, it transmits something to me that I hear. It's transmitting a concept. The unknowable truly can't be transmitted. But
Your brain is creating the concept.
um,
Unknowable is unknowable.
I know, I know, and you're not talking about a relationship with a concept, but it necessarily gains a body as soon as it's expressed in words at all. There doesn't have to be a hearer, but if you say the word unknowable, you're projecting a concept of it. So it's impossible not to give it a body. But that's why the
So,
Jews
but
prohibited the
that
saying the name of God, because it becomes a concept, an idol, a thing really fast.
yeah,
Like
and I mean
even like to refer to it.
yeah, Yahweh. They put God G hyphen D because they don't want to say it. But I guess what I'm alluding to in the realm of spirituality is it's experiential and it's individualistic for you. It's everybody has there's not a blanket like birds asking. I still don't understand what spirituality is. Like
Right, right.
there's no blanket term for it. It's your relationship with whatever the hell's happening. All I'm saying is none of us know what the hell's happening,
Well, isn't
but
that just
it's your
psychology?
relationship to whatever the hell's happening.
Yeah. So what's the difference between that and just psychology, knowing my own mind?
Well, that's a so that we I mean that's a different subject. Like what like knowing oneself. My experience is knowing myself, knowing the inner workings of my mind and why and how things operate, has allowed me to drop conceptions, beliefs, conceptualizations, and enter into an experience with whatever it is we're talking about. And so rather than have thoughts or theories or ideas about it. And
So
then,
I
oh, sorry.
go
I was just going to say, Ennis Strumick says if Reed would use headphones, maybe it would work. And then Simon says, unconditional love is what seems to be the driving force of good and bad. If all feelings are the same, but a high level or low, love or hate, I don't know God, but I feel he is there.
so the
Okay.
closest I can get to spirituality is there seems to be this middle ground between it's like riding this line between thought, like being a character in the world, thinking, planning, having a day where I'm taking known actions, and then there's this other side that's unknown that I'm expecting guidance and leading from, and it's this middle line. It's this it's like walking in the middle of that where I'm not where I'm planning and acting, but also somehow being in alignment with something beyond. And I can't define that because that moves it into the realm of planning and acting. Like I can't concretely define the relationship and what I do to be in this relationship, because then it becomes of the realm of the mind, where it's a plan, it's a thing I'm going to go do that I thought of. Does that make sense? So it's like this kind of, how do you bridge action with the unknowable? How do you like intentionally live in alignment with something that requires non-intention in a way?
What a paradox.
Does that make
Yeah,
do you feel like
what?
do you feel like that makes sense?
No, you're splitting yourself apart. The separating practical actions and thinking, and then splitting that from an experience of relationship or union with the divine. It's separating them when they're the same.
Well, in whose system are they the same? We're like we're redefining spirituality again. It's like the lady who didn't go to church because she saw that everything was God. Was she spiritual? And then the people who thought you needed to go to church weren't spiritual?
No, no. Everybody, like I said, this is everybody. Everybody has to. It's not a blanket term. It's a individual. Like it's an individual thing.
So that's what I was trying to point towards, is that um, yeah, it's an it can't. I don't think there's a definition or rule set that covers it. That's my current experience with it. That's my current walk with this thing.
Okay, so that's how you're what you just said, or how you described it, is how you're interfacing with, how you're living in your own. This is your spiritual system that you're living in.
And it's not a system. It's just how yeah, it's our personal interface with God. It's our personal walk or journey with the unknowable, as you say. Um, so maybe that spirituality is, um, in a way, it's our individual journey with something beyond ourselves and beyond other people, but maybe that includes ourselves and other people.
Sure. Bird said, "What?
Yeah.
You were gonna ask Bird something?"
Yeah, I want to know if he has any idea, if we've gotten any closer to helping him understand what spirituality is or what we're talking about. I feel like no.
He says, if I had to explain what an almost spiritual experience, I would say it's immersion of action and awareness, coupled with a sense of being a part of everything known and unknown. It's almost like the ego is being dissolved like a drop of ink in a cup of water. That's how he would describe this, an almost spiritual experience.
So, and I like that. And I will say that a spiritual experience is different from spirituality. I think spirituality implies a way of living.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So again, it's like, how do we live in relationship with what we might come in contact with through spiritual experience? Because some people have an encounter with the divine or the unknowable or oneness or whatever, and then go about their day. It's like finding a cool rock on the ground and leaving it there.
Yeah, it's like how it's making me think of who's that guy from AA, the really extreme dude from Texas? What's that guy's name?
Mark Houston?
Mark Houston. He's like, I wouldn't go to the God's ocean with a thimble. I'd bring a bucket. I'd bring a friggin' 2-ton truck and just fill up with as much God as I possibly can.
Yeah. You go to the ocean with a thimble, get a thimble full. You go with a bucket, get a bucket full.
So it's kind of like you get to kind of decide how bad do you want it, like how much do you want it, kind of a deal. Like, do you how lived spiritually do you want to be, kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah. So like goes back to surrender. I mean, it's like I don't think there's a relationship with God where it's like, uh, I'm checking in every once in a while to see what God's doing. Um, it's way more. I'm checking out so that God can be doing more.
Interesting.
But that's just one way of framing the thing. Like I tend to take a positive approach, whereas I think you tend to take the negative approach, where it's an absence of rather than a presence of. I lean into a presence of rather than an absence of anything.
The reason I lean into the negative more is because of what you said at the beginning of the show. There's no escaping my own brain. There's no escaping my own sense perceptions.
Well, that's where reliance on this power to lead one, I think, is so essential, because then I'm, in theory, no longer bound to the limits of my own brain. And that's why I experience expansion, um, increased cohesion with my environment, regression towards things that are conducive to my well-being and the well-being of others. And when I'm relying on the extent of my own brain, there's a contraction, same problems forever, uh, conflict.
There you go. Yeah, Bird. Spirituality as a lifestyle.
Thing to lose. Is that who's that?
Nothing to Lose But Your Head by Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. He had a rebranding later on in life. There's nothing to lose but your head. All right, let's go to the next one. Spirituality as a lifestyle. What do we got next? I would like to try, if Matreo's still here.
Wait, that's a good segue into You're Enlightened. So now what?
Okay, you're enlightened. So now what?
Now that you've had a few spiritual experiences, it's time to make it a lifestyle. You need certain clothes, you need to dress a new way, and you need to go to special groups, and then you need to
Start a YouTube channel.
go to the sweat lodges. You need to start a YouTube channel about it. You need to I don't know. There's lots of stuff you got to start doing.
Yeah, now that you're enlightened.
Yeah. You might need to start wearing a pyramid on your head.
Drink your own piss.
You might find alternative medicines to be quite tasty.
I want to preface this by saying my experience or non-experience of enlightenment. So we got to first define what we think enlightenment is, okay? You're enlightened, now what? Okay? My flavor of fair is, for me, the enlightened state is seeing everything happening on its own, including my own body, thoughts, feelings, motions, birds, trees, stars, impulses. To me, an enlightened state is recognizing no doer and no owner of all manifestations of whatever this is.
So I say the enlightened state is impossible to escape from. It's just the state we're already in. The difference is whether or not one's mind recognizes it or not.
Ooh.
Awareness can't be anything other than pure and clear, but even those words, I mean, it is here. It's not, can't be gotten away from. Someone can recognize that to varying degrees, though. You're already enlightened. Now what? Well, I don't feel enlightened. Well, that sucks and it sucks because you want to be enlightened. But if you didn't want to, then it wouldn't be a problem. There, case closed. But yeah, so what?
It's great. You basically just shut my brain off by everything you just said.
I know.
There's just like you completely shut the system down.
So really the question is, well, okay. So you're enlightened, now what? You start uh teaching people stuff, and okay, it's a bad career path because your only option is to become a Jim Newman or Rupert Spira or whatever. Like there's no other end game. The end game is you're sitting on a platform or a cushion somewhere with people asking you the same fucking question every day, and then no matter what you say, a new group of people is asking you the same questions again next week. And then after 10 years, you must surely question whether or not you're actually doing anything. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe there's nothing else to do at that point because your whole brand is the teacher. Now you can't escape. Now you have to be the guru. And then you're realizing you don't actually have anything to give, but the charade has grown and grown. And now you got to start wearing crazy clothes, set up a picture of Ramana Maharshi next to you, wear the garlands. I'm thinking about Muji when I say that. Like he is in deep. He can't be like, he can't not say what he's saying. He can't have a new experience. He can't, you know what I mean? I mean, he's got to be enlightened. He has to be.
I don't think what you just described is talking about enlightenment. I think you're talking about guruship.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean that's when I hear that, it's like I see no difference between Muji. You know, I saw a picture of Muji yesterday of somebody approaching him and being like, you know, this is a recent one, like, ready for your blessings, Muji. And Muji is actively giving them a blessing, giving them exactly what they're asking for, right?
Yeah.
I see no difference between that and me cleaning a tire mold at the warehouse. You're just doing what's asked of you.
Yeah.
And that was Osho's argument, you know, when he's when he was Bhagwan, and there's so many great interviews on YouTube of him like just dripped out, just stone cold eye stares, you know, answering interviewers' questions, speaking slower than molasses. And he's basically, so people want to give me Rolls Royces. Why would I stop them from giving me Rolls Royces? It's how they want to express themselves. And he's not wrong.
Do you think he would have affirmed that he had special knowledge or not?
Oh, I don't know. He was a shifty bug, that guy.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have people gifting you cars and then not somehow, you know, understanding that that's because they think you're special in some way. And if you truly recognize yourself as not special in any way, I don't think you would take extravagant gifts like that.
I don't know. I don't know. It's if you were to like, you've gifted me things, and it's like so nice. Like, why would I say no if it's especially something I enjoy?
But what if I was giving you a car because I thought you were at a higher level of enlightenment than I was?
Well, who's to say that's what they thought?
But it was clear that that's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, who's to stop someone from spending their energy the way they want to? I'm on Osho's side here. I'm on Rajneesh's side here.
By receiving the gift, you're affirming what you know they believe.
So people have told me things positive about me and negative about me, and whether I accept them or not makes no real difference of whether they're expressing it or giving it. No matter how much I tell them not to, or if I really invested energy to stop someone from being nice to me, it's like, who has the energy for that? And I got some questions here. Do you want to keep going on this one, or I was going to catch up on chat? Because we moved from your enlightened wait, what? Now what? To gurus.
Well, yeah, you're enlightened, so now what? Like so the question is like, it's kind of a, we're saying in a funny way, but it's like, okay, you've had some spiritual insight or some experiences or seen some things in a different way. What do you do with that? Would you agree that that might be a practical question worth exploring?
Yeah, I mean, what do you do with it? I mean, I don't know. It's like finding out that you got both your legs when you wake up in the morning. What do you do with not you can walk? You know, some people don't have their legs when they wake up and they got arms. What do you do with that? Like it's just what do you do with your life? You
Do
know,
you
it's
cultivate it? Do you join a group? Do you seek more? Do you leave it alone?
once you so I guess we have to redefine what we think enlightenment is then because I don't know what
The
you
term
would
enlightenment. I don't
you
know.
know you just described it. You said it's just awareness. It's right. You
Yeah,
said
yeah. So
aware.
yeah, so now we're talking about some degree of spiritual insight. Something's happened. You're different. You're seeing things a different way. You're feeling something different. Your understanding is different.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing you can or can't do. If you're enlightened, you see that, right? That's enlightenment, right? You just realize like, oh shit. Like there's nobody here. Whatever it is that's happening is happening. What do
But
you do with that?
that wasn't your experience when you first had something happen to you years ago. You went and did a whole bunch of stuff about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was an enlightening experience. It was like a peak experience, but it wasn't. My process has been more of a gradual one. It hasn't been a strike a lightning one.
There's been lots of stuff you've done and sought out information, books, practices.
But I would invert that and say all these things appeared, and they didn't. I wish they would have appeared sooner because when I had that experience in the warehouse, I never was aware that I was thinking. That was really the main thing about it. It wasn't an I wouldn't say it was an enlightening experience because immediately after it happened, I was completely enamored with myself. There was a me and it was thinking.
Uh-huh. So after your real enlightenment experience,
Which was provided by you when you said like when I listen to Jim Newman when you say what you said 12 minutes ago my brain completely stops and it's like oh wow this is just what's happening like I don't even have thought anymore. It's great. And that's why Bird asked the questions why do people seem to seek it out. I find myself watching Spira and Newman and Osho and all these people. It just seems to happen because it like calms the mind. It like brings me back into unknowing or being. It like does something. I don't.
I sought it out because when I first, I mean, I've been interested in some sort of spiritual realm see, I don't even know if this is spiritual stuff we're talking about now, but I've been in adjacent realms for a long time. But when I got sober for the first time, for real, like 8, 10 years ago or so was when this kind of started. I got introduced to like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and then Krishnamurti. And then it was through these new ways of thinking, all of a sudden, I started encountering insights or states of mind that gave me relief from what had up to that point been an intolerable state of being with anxiety, anger, frustration, just not feeling good, hating life. And all of a sudden, there's these states that could switch on and relieve me of all of that. So, of course, I became deeply interested in these topics because it provided relief from a deep chronic dissatisfaction I couldn't otherwise escape from. So, it was medicine. It became spiritual medicine. And then I realized I've been, and it was like self medicating through spiritual. But I don't think this stuff is spirituality, honestly. I would separate this from spirituality. This is the seeking of states of mind that are preferable. It has almost nothing to do with spirituality. I would say spirituality is relinquishing one's search for a better state of mind, which then uh, actually coincidentally starts becoming in alignment with what this stuff is truly about, which is being with what's here, what's now, without seeking a better here and now. So that's where spirituality and concepts like enlightenment or awakening coincide. Um, but that's why I started seeking this. It made me feel good. And when spirituality makes you feel good, that's a big fucking problem because this shit gets neurotic fast if you're seeking it for an effect.
Mm. Yeah.
That was my experience. But
No, that's
and then
good.
the seeking of it, my what drew me towards it, the effects I was getting became the blockers, became the problems, that
Hmm.
became the hang up. Um,
Yeah, I had that same experience in 12 steps.
I had to reach the point where like, and really it felt like more of an embodiment of Zen at that point, where like I'm just willing to walk, and it's not about getting anything from whatever the stuff is anymore. I don't even actively, the stuff we're talking about here, I don't actively seek or participate in any intentional way. If there's meditation, it just happens. If there's a desire to sit quietly, it just happens. Even if maybe those things don't even have anything to do with what we're talking about, but I don't really think about this stuff anymore. There's no why, unless it just seems interesting at the time. Sometimes I'll pick up an Anthony DeMello, or I'll read something from an Alan Watts book just because I feel led to. And then there's some kind of nugget that's like relevant to something I'm going through, and then I can drop it again
Hmm.
beyond that.
Nice. Nice. I wish the people in the talk I was listening to yesterday could hear what you just said. Yeah, that's good. Bird says if I had to guess, I would say enlightenment is to be a radical shift in perspective or worldview that grants insights to the sum or certain inner workings of a grander world. As for what people do with it, I have no idea.
So you can have that, and it might not, there's a difference between like an abiding experience and then, a passing insight that has an, effect on the way you see things for a time and fades. I think when people are talking about enlightenment, they're talking about like a seemingly permanent, abiding experience in a different state of consciousness. I think that's the popular conception of it.
Ooh, ooh.
What I said is we already exist. We That state of consciousness, there's an effect produced by a recognition of the enlightenment that is our inherent, unescapable, and inalterable nature. But it's like you can have, there could be $1 million hidden inside the stuffing of your chair. It only has an effect once you see that it's there. So it's I think it's the thinking mind becoming aware of this really is the only thing that shifts. But I don't know. I'm not in some permanent abiding state of whatever, Muji's are doing. But that's not true either. I think we all are. And the idea that it
Yeah,
has to,
there's
yeah,
there's levels to it, there's stages to it, there's different states of being. Bird says is enlightenment just a perspective? I think it's just a lightening of the load. What is your guy say?
traveling lighter. Yeah, Paul Hederman is, I think, is the best teacher out there, and he's definitely doesn't consider himself a teacher, but like he uses he dresses it up as little as possible, and he says like, you know what, if seeing this stuff can help you travel a little bit lighter, that's what it's all about. You don't have to have your head blown off and the bottom fall out of the bucket. You can just see that a few of the things that are bothering you aren't you, and then maybe you feel a little bit better. Maybe the ride's a little bit smoother. I think that's the most reasonable way to talk about any of this stuff. The idea that you have to totally lose a sense of personhood, the ego has to be destroyed, you have to look like, um, Muji or whatever. I mean, I think those are just bad ideas. I think for most people, like Bird said, I think for most people, just a little bit of a better perspective is what they're looking for. You don't want your ego fucking destroyed. That's not what you're looking for.
There's not actually not. It's not. That's not even useful anyway.
No, no. Like you have to. Ramana Maharshi literally sat in samadhi, or like was so gone. He like sat in this cave for years. They built a little fence to keep the animals away from chewing on him, and they'd bring him food and feed him. Great, you're looking for that? Yeah, right. Like, okay, no, take me off the list. Okay, never mind. That's not what I'm looking for. You're right. I'm unsubscribing from enlightenment.
We got about 20 minutes left. Would Matreo thinks he fixed it? Can we try? Can we give it an old Harvard try real quick?
Do you think we got enough material to chop up for?
What, based on everything we just talked for an hour.
We did? Okay. Sure, we can try it.
Hey, Matreo, I know I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Come back in. Let's see if we can get it to work.
Let me.
There he is. Let me go to this.
Hello, wonderful people.
Hello. Wow, I think we fixed
I'm really
it.
sorry. I think it was my fault.
Oh, that's okay, dude.
So let me make it a little louder, you guys.
There we go. Can you hear me? I'm going to keep talking so you can get your audio levels correct. Audio levels,
Yeah.
audio levels.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. Can you pronounce your name for me so I can keep screwing it up
Ennis.
knowingly?
Ennis.
Ennis.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Ennis, welcome to the show, man. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, man, it was, I'm really sorry. But, you know, technical, these things are really complicated. Reed said, oh, it's not so. Oh, yes, it is.
He was also trying to put the blame on me. I don't know if you heard that. He was saying it was all my fault.
Yeah, now my guilt consciousness is even more, you know, because I've witnessed how he tortured you, you know. It was really, but that's okay, you know.
Absolutely, it was his fault.
Yeah.
A little torture does good.
Yeah. Don't.
It was good test for you guys, you know, and for me too, and for our viewers, because things are not, most of the time things don't go well. So, and that's what you were talking about, spirituality. Spirituality would be your reaction to the life challenges. So how you react. So, and that's what makes difference between us. If you are reacting really strongly and this stress remains in you forever, or you are reacting and then after maybe a few seconds or maybe a few minutes, the game over, you are again in balance, then you are fine. You are really, you established certain nervous system. You brought lots of awareness into yourself. Because without lots of space of awareness, our mind is clogged up with all kinds these animalistic reactions. So awareness means you clean up this clutter, and you are getting more free space. As you have more free space, you are more spiritual. It's simple as it is.
So can we say that a spiritual path in some ways begins when someone recognizes these reactions in themselves and then comes to the place where they're willing and open to changing or being changed?
Definitely.
They see this. There's an awareness of this, which I think that's grace, whether or not someone becomes aware of this in the first place. But once they become open to that change, then it all starts happening. Then that's the walk begins.
And you know, I see there are many people who are open to changes, but unfortunately, they cannot find the right way to change themselves. You guys you were mentioning all kinds of gurus, and I don't find them really useful very much, especially if we go to all the religions like Jesus, Muhammad, and stuff like that. these individuals and these teachings are more harmful than useful. So there are many people who are ready, to evolve, to change, but unfortunately they get trapped in all kinds insufficiently well ideas, and instead for progressing they are degrading themselves. They end up in cults. You were mentioning Moji, and I was in a cult of my guru. So that's not really helpful for our development. So on this market of all kinds of spirituality, it's very hard to find what is right for us. And I think the best is, like Bruce Lee said, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is your own. So that principle I follow. And I think every reasonable human being should follow. Don't take everything from anyone, because we are just humans. And we are not even humans. We are human animal. And most of us are not even a rational animal. And that's our biggest problem. I am an ignoramus. And the beginning of true spirituality or awareness, the spirituality is outdated. This term is outdated. The beginning of true awareness starts when you recognize your ignorance. As you are aware more, you're going to recognize more and more ignorance. Now you're on the right path. And then you're going to realize, oh man, I'm so stupid. This is unbelievable. I'm so limited. But when people, there is a Dunning-Kruger effect, you guys probably know. And there was two psychologists, American psychologists, they did tests with their students, and they gave them some tests, and they asked them after tests were done, what's your opinion? What's your score according to these, to you? They told the students who had the lowest score, they gave the highest score to themselves, and those who did it decently and they have the highest score, they underestimated their results. And the conclusion of that experiment is, as person is dumber, the more the more he is smart, the more he sees self as smarter. So the person is more stupid, the more he thinks he is smarter. And that's a reality in today's world. And unless we recognize that stage of our personal evolution, when we were claiming, oh, I'm now guru, now I got some spiritual, experiences, now I can heal other people, I can, teach others. If you don't go through that stages and you become humble, you realize, no, I cannot teach anyone. The true teacher is in us. If you have this file in your brain and I'm saying something, and then and that file opens itself, that means you had that file. The spark, the click came from outside. But that's why you cannot teach anyone unless that person is mature enough to have that knowledge in themselves. But from outside, it needs only a little. So that's when you realize, no, I cannot teach anyone, because I can say something and everyone will take this differently. Some people will say, oh, this is smart, man. And the other will say, look at this crazy man. So that means that inner development is what matters, not outside. And today, we have really lots of people who are capable to understand, but unfortunately, they get trapped in all kinds of delusional ideas. And I was glad to hear Reed is trying to be scientific. He was trying to find evidence, and that's the way to go. We need to be rational. If we are not rational about our feelings, about our thoughts, about this reality, we are worse than animals.
So when you say, people get trapped by these systems and stuff, and I agree, but I think, we can't just dismiss systems and teachers outright. I think there's a stage when I need to be part of a system. There's a stage when I need that structure. There's a stage when I need a certain guru's teachings. There's a stage when I need to leave that guru. I think what I need is constantly evolving, but to stay stuck at one stage, that's a problem. To maybe, Krishnamurti had a few videos I needed to watch, but then I watched for like 5 more years or something. Maybe I needed to leave that behind, 4 years earlier, because I get stuck there. This is the way or whatever. But at the time, what do you think about that?
I agree fully, but you see, we make lots of mistakes. They haven't been useful for us, but we needed them to learn things. So these gurus are really helping you to clarify that you have to be on your own, and you cannot accept any human as perfect, as so knowledgeable. In Indian this culture and Indian spirituality, they see guru as God. So even guru can be at higher level than God himself. And you have this most popular guru called Sadguru. He seems to me so arrogant. He's saying, I don't ask God for anything. God doesn't need to tell me anything. But when he had a brain injury, when he had a problem with his brain, he has to go to hospital, and they perform surgery on his brain. If he is so smart, if he is so godly, why he couldn't fix that little thing in his brain? So we are having lots of claims from lots of individuals, but I don't see reflection in their own life, that perfection. And in fact, sometimes they look more ignorant or about basic life things than me, than you, than anyone else. And you have this in audience, some disciples or followers will sit and listen to their guru, and guru will say something. And in your mind will click, okay, this is not right. But we are brainwashed. When guru says something, that has to be right. Maybe you don't understand at that moment, or maybe there is divine background for that. So we dismiss their ignorance, but they are extremely ignorant. That's why we have to remain completely independent in our mind. And Krishnamurti, for me, you mentioned Krishnamurti, did lots of harm to people. Because from one side, you have some gurus, some teachers who are telling you have to do something. You have to follow discipline. You have to practice mindfulness. You have to have healthy lifestyle. You have to pay attention what you eat. You need exercises, breathing exercises, avoid bad company. Those are good advices, and we really need them. But then we have certain gurus like Krishnamurti, like Ramana Maharishi. They, no, that's wrong. If you are trying anything, you are making obstacle. And now people are confused. We have people who are ready to work on themselves. But then you have Eckhart Tolle, Krishnamurti, Ramana Maharishi, who is telling you, no, you don't need to do anything. If you do something, you are creating an obstacle. That's not true. And now people are confused what to do. Should I do something, or should I just wait, buy lottery ticket and just wait?
Well, that's what I did. So like I got caught into that. There's anything I do is like part of the illusion or whatever. I didn't do work. I'm doing work on myself now that I should have done years ago, but so like early on, I had some insight or some experiences with Zen, which is I've had kind of experience with a lot of different flavors, and they all have their own flavor. But like Zen, I was like, I'm not going to work on myself. I'm just going to go hard on this and skip straight to go, get enlightenment, and then I don't have to deal with the mind at all. And what happened was I slowly went crazier because enlightenment didn't happen fast enough. So like now I'm not seeking enlightenment. I have a mind for well-being. Like, what does a balanced, structured day look like for me? I'm interested in just, thriving. And then whatever, if there's some kind of something, something else will click on at some point down the road, I'm sure, but it's not going to be because I did it. And I don't need it. It's not like this. I think a lot of people need enlightenment. They need what the guru's selling. There's this promise of freedom that they're desperately craving. And this person is saying, I have the secret ticket. Even though they're saying there's no secret ticket, the implication is, it's like wink, wink. There's nothing you can do, but actually there kind of is, and it involves listening to me.
I think it's more human. I think it's this human need or desire to be understood and being in a community of people that feel the same way. I think it's more about that than it is about the actual gurus themselves. It's the hierarchical expression of human communities manifest through the teaching or the teachers. Because what you described, Enis, did I say it right? Enis?
Yep.
You described like every ashram I went to, every synagogue, every temple, whenever the pastor, the rabbi, or the yogi is teaching or talking, at a certain point, whether it's 3 minutes in or 15 minutes in, I go, okay, that's not entirely true. That's not correct what they're saying. And I can feel the environment itself pressuring me to just drop my own instinct and just go along with the show that they're presenting. And it's very, very, it's like an electric. It's like I get like, even in AA meetings, I'll feel like this is not speaking to what I would perceive be helpful to somebody. And it's very difficult for me to be in those spaces.
That's right. And the reason is the teaching of that guru or that person is not based on rationality and the logic and constant change, constant updates. So they are stuck. They don't allow any updates. But knowledge has no limits. And unless you constantly update and check and recheck your conclusions about yourself, about life, about gurus, and guru himself should check and recheck themselves. But no, they came to something and game over. No, the game is not over. And it's unbelievable how these people called spiritual people are dismissing science. They think they are communicating with aliens, they are communicating with angels, with God. At the same time, they are forgetting that we are 99%. Our DNA is like chimpanzee DNA. Should we a little identify ourselves with the real thing that we are animals? And these people who are, and now when I tell them, look, guys, we are animals, we have to understand that, yes, we have potential to be humans and maybe even divine. But unless we understand that we are animals, we cannot progress from this level. No, if you are animal, I am not an animal. So they get angry. And that's exact proof they're animals because they are reacting animalistically. They are defending themselves. They are trapped in certain ideas. And now someone comes like a fox. A fox get caught in a trap. And you want to liberate that fox. But the fox doesn't know what you are trying because that trap and that cognitive capacity is at a very low level. And the fox sees you as an enemy. And that's what they do. You are coming them, come guys, come on guys, come to your senses. We cannot just wander away in some ideas and aliens and some all kinds of ideas. This is unbelievable. This is so much show is going on in people's mind, and they take that for granted. So if we don't come to our senses and understand what science gave to us, what good hygiene gave to us, look at us. We are communicating right now miles and miles away. And we don't appreciate that. They are denying science. They say, no, this is bad. Look what they are doing to us. Who is doing to you? No one except your own mind. But if you purify your mind, if you come to your senses and you become rational, suddenly you're going to realize what a wonderful life we are in right now. And Adam was saying in his videos, he's saying, wow, this is miracle. Look at me. I'm now in this body and I'm looking around. That's spirituality. When you become aware of your physical reality, you become aware, wow, I'm alive. But they got stuck in their minds and they are expressing those animal instincts and they think they are in fourth dimension, fifth D, but in reality they are in deeper unconsciousness. They are going into deeper and deeper sleep. And now when you come to tell them, let us just be reasonable, guys, because we need to health insurance, we need free education, we need to take care of our environment. If we are talking about gods and we are choosing people, elect people who are feeding those instincts in you, fear and divisions, so we're gonna go extinct. No, they don't want. So why? Because they were told that we are special. We are not special. We are evolving from single cell organism 3 billion years already. And finally, last 500, 600 millions, we are complex organisms. And the last several millions, maybe 5, 7, humans are appearing. And where were angels at that time? Where was God at that time? 99% of all species got extinct. Where was God for them? No, these people completely ignore reality. Thankfully, we have science, because without this science that we're having right now, spirituality cannot be complete.
So
Gurus,
I'm
Krishna, Rama,
I'm
all
hesitant.
of them,
Like,
they could not have good explanation about creation without really understanding this physical level. And we got through science. And now we guys, we can be much more spiritual than anyone before us because conditions are met. We have knowledge in this about this external world, and now when you work on yourself, you're gonna much better understand awareness, ego, and intellect, and all of this. They could not because they were missing this science that we're having right now. Go ahead, Reed.
I mean, I question the extent to which I guess the scientific approach is helpful, and maybe you're talking more about a scientific approach, but like, and I know you mentioned relying on logic and reason, but I find that like there's an area where that leaves off for me, where logic, reason, and trying to apply a scientific approach to my life actually starts to affect the quality of my life because I can disprove or dismiss through logic and reason a lot of the practices, behaviors, and attitudes that are actually helpful for me. My logical and reasonable framework doesn't account for God, yet when I don't account for God, I find my reality kind of collapses in on itself and becomes more. It doesn't. It's like the system or the equation doesn't work anymore. But then when I recognize in my life this expansive quality that comes from whatever it might mean, aligning myself with this greater thing that's not explainable through logic, reason, or science, then I start getting in contact with the part of me that's not the part of the world that's not the thinking mind. There's something more, and I feel that it directs me, and so like and I don't know what it is. I'm applying labels like God, but like I have to depart from logic and reason at a certain point. Otherwise, it leads me to like unhappiness and futility. I find greater degrees of peace and expansiveness when I depart from that as my ground of being, essentially. Although it's important to apply in context at specific times, but to rely on that fully, just like I'd rely on a teacher, I'm not convinced that that somehow is going to provide me with the answers because my answers seem to come from somewhere else, not from me figuring out anything. My answers appear when I'm not the one producing those answers. Maybe it's a deeper self producing those answers. I don't know, but it's not through logic or reason that I've reached any of the insights that have truly transformed me. In fact, it's the opposite. Through logic and reason, I tend to corrupt those insights that have transformed me.
Adam, you want to say something? Or I can reply.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So it's not problem about logic and reasoning and to be rational. It's problem that we don't have enough data and that we don't have enough awareness. And our mind, our intellect to process all of this, if is lacking enough data, enough experiences, enough awareness, it may seem there is contradiction between logic and science. No. Science is very, very involved in this physical realm. But when it comes to psychic, when it comes to awareness, when it comes to our ego, emotions, thoughts, and this is where we have to step in. If we are working on ourselves and if we practice awarefulness, I don't like the term mindfulness because mind itself is just contents, whatever is in our subconscious and unconscious mind. What I would call it, I would call it awarefulness. So if we are practicing awarefulness, which is not easy, with time, awareness will expand. I'm not saying you're going to expand now in some kind of dimension. You're going to just be more aware through your senses. And now your logic, this scientific, rational approach to life, you have more light, you have more observation force in yourself. And now you're gonna get these certain thoughts, new ideas about things. But this doesn't come from God. It comes, you are having more awareness in you, and now your brain is more clear, and your brain has more capacity. And also, if you add experiences, if you add data, if you add experiences of other people, now your brain is putting all these together and coming up with maybe much better idea, much better conclusion than what other people had. But we need awareness. But awareness is not enough. Adam had a very good awakening. He went beyond mind. He was aware, but he didn't get any extra knowledge. Even awareness needs senses and needs experience. If you bring Jesus right now and put him on the bike, he would go sideways. He wouldn't know how to ride bike. So when that when they are talking about awareness, oh, awareness is all knowing. No, awareness is just pure screen. So when you have this purity in your mind, like a child, you are able to comprehend easier. You don't have prejudices, but still you need experiences. And that's why when you talk to gurus, you can see if they don't have experience, they come from India. They got enlightened maybe at young age, like Osho in 22. So you cannot learn much from them. Yes, they're going to tell you, be witness. You don't identify with thoughts, but when it comes to life itself and how to achieve that level that they are in, you have no right instructions. Why? Because you need experience as much as you can. You cannot talk about sexuality if you don't have experience in sexuality. So when whatever is for everything is needed experience, and now the awareness which is in us pick up all these things and mix that all together and come up with intelligent conclusion. But it's still illogical. Logic was always our friend. Rational thinking was always our friend. But we are missing experiences. If I don't have experiences with my chakras, if I don't have experience with Kundalini. Of course, I'm going to think, oh, there is no logic. There is logic in everything. There are rules and laws. Everything work according to certain processes, but we don't have enough awareness, enough experience to recognize how all of this is functioning. But it's getting better. And little by little, we're going to have real knowledge about these things. And it will be not anymore, I have my truth, you have your truth, you have your beliefs, I have my. No. When it comes to science, we know what is objective reality. I am an electrician. When I was in the US, I worked no problem. When I was in Afghanistan, in Iraq, I worked no problem. When I was in Germany, right now in Bosnia and Herzegovina, no problem. Science is related to objective reality, but also psyche, emotions, thoughts, awareness, they are part of existence. They are also under these laws, but we don't have enough experience, and that's why our brain is not able to come up with the right conclusion about it. I am not confused at all about anything regarding this. I don't need God to get inspired and feel connected. I need life. Life is here and now. You can call it God. Just be more and more alive. And then you're going to feel bliss, peace, love. And you will see there is something in you which wants to optimize you constantly to make better version of you. And Adam said in his video, thoughts are not creating reality. Life is creating reality. And that's why he is ignoring thoughts. But when you tell this to people who are stuck in their minds, the only what they know is those thoughts. And now you tell them, hey guys, thoughts are just, appearing, disappearing. You shouldn't pay attention to them. Oh, no, no, no. Thoughts can bend reality. No, they cannot. So life is really what matters. And now we have to change those terms. No more God, no more all these, when people were ignorant, people could not invent toilet paper. And you're going to listen their explanation of creation. People are still reading these books, so-called holy books, and those people didn't have underwear. If you are not capable, If you are not capable to make underwear, how you can tell me anything about life? But you know, I can claim I am sent from God. I am the one. Okay, prove to me. Give me something useful. Invent something. No, they don't invent anything. They're just claiming. I talk to angels. I talk to some kind, higher beings. Give us some kind of invention, guy. We have so many needs right now. We have so many problems, and you guys are talking to some other higher civilizations, some galactic civilizations. Why don't bring us something tangible? No, just talking and talking and talking. Hey, sorry, guys. I am a really very rational. I am in awareness. I'm in spirituality, but I realize that we are so delusional that we are destroying ourselves. Look at these wars. Look at what we are. We cannot control. We cannot. People are talking about telekinesis, and they
Well,
say, "Hey, for 2 years I'm trying telekinesis. I sweat when I perform those exercises." Then I'm saying, "What about us, kinesis? How if we force ourselves to clean our apartment? How if we lift up, raise our ass to do some exercises? Should we start with that type kinesis?" Because telekinesis is moving the object with your mind, but you cannot move your ass from the couch. And now you are trying to bend reality with your mind. That will never happen.
I'm not sure. So I hear what you're saying. I temper it with I mean maybe this is my lack of experience or something, but I think there is something more than data gathering coupled with awareness. I don't think that
But didn't you say at the very beginning you can only know your own brain? Like that's
that speaks to the need for something outside of that to be providing information. I can't. No one is ever going to gather all the data necessary to live. Um, I just I feel that I have experience with an organizing principle that has data beyond what any group of people could have, yet seems to be able to coordinate them in a way um, that's to a higher degree than any single person with any amount of data could have coordinated. And I see this happen over and over in different groups. And so I continue to have experiences with some kind of principle that has data outside what any human or group of humans would or could have beyond just a lack of life experience. Um, so
but you're saying that you're saying you have this data, but it's not coming from yourself.
I'm saying I don't have the data, and something allows me to act on data I don't have. I don't have the data. I'm never gonna have. No one's ever gonna have perfect data. Like there's an extent to how far we can lean on logic and reason because I mean, um, you're trusting in something, so you're trusting in data, and you're trusting your mind not to have warped that data. And then if we're trusting science, we're trusting the limit or extent of our senses, and it's applicable in the right context. But I think when it comes to uh, life, you know, you could say that life itself has the data, but my brain doesn't need the data. There's something like life as a force, almost as an emergent phenomenon itself, is able to orchestrate um, movements. I mean, I see in a way, I see like the real organism is humanity as a whole, or the real organism is actually the earth, and that different types of people emerge in order to fulfill different roles in society, and the human organism creates the people it needs to do the task. Like humanity itself knows what individuals need to be doing that can be tapped into, and therefore like a whole and fulfilling life can be lived when it's in resonance with what this kind of greater thing has for us has um but so that can't be.
Well, also everything's going on internally for you as well. Your own passions, your own desires, your own interests, your own attractions. So you've got
So like
what
that used to be
the world is asking of you to be, but then you also have yourself emerging into
yeah,
being through that world.
that limited inner self almost in a way, in some way conflicting with that. And that's like why, like, I experience greater peace with that inner self is diminished, but I'm not squashing myself. I'm relinquishing what's not me or what's not in alignment. So like, if there's a me, like it's not an isolated individual. Like the system works together. And so I think that speaks to, like, there's definitely a lot going on that science does not even have the ability to conceptualize of. And so there's relying fully on logic, reason, and science as they are now. We could potentially, by relying on that, we could potentially cut ourselves off from something much beyond that has the ability to organize us. I don't think human.
Science,
Go ahead.
science works for spirituality, what we call spirituality. Science comes from awareness. Scientists are spiritual people. They are more spiritual than these new age delusional people and these religious believers who are not even aware of true motivation why they are in certain religion. They are driven by fear. They are driven by urge to socialize, to create certain herds. And we find that in animal kingdom. They love to follow some alpha male or alpha female. And those are animalistic qualities. So scientists, they are also having feelings, they have instincts, but they are trying to be objective. And this is the beginning of awareness. Awareness is neutral, awareness is not biased. Awareness is fully indifferent. That's what science does. Science is product of awareness. So science is, and that's how we supposed to be in spirituality, what we call. We should be scientific.
Well,
And when it comes to science, science is a method to find God of this reality, which is matter. This reality is driven by God called matter. No one can bend this reality with their minds. So you have to know how this reality is working. Gravity doesn't forgive. Entropy doesn't forgive. So we were having all kinds hocus pocus teachings through our history, and we know what was the average lifespan of people, 30 years. Mortality was 50%. So we didn't have anything. Our hygiene was zero. We had infections. We had diseases. We were killing each other. That was unbelievable. We were worse than animals. And suddenly we got science and we improved. But unfortunately, people are still in the caves mentally. They didn't evolve. We can thank just a few percent of humanity, few percent of people for this progress that we made. The majority people, 99% of people don't contribute to our development, but they are complaining of everything, but they are not even knowing, they don't know how to use this technology, let alone to create. So we
So
have ungrateful masses who are constantly complaining. They don't contribute anything to progress of humanity, and that's why we are struggling right now. But they think they know. And I mentioned Dunning-Kruger effect. The dumber person is, the smarter they think they are. And they don't realize they are dumb. And I was dumb, and I'm still dumb. So unless you admit you are dumb, and you are trying to find to come up with some conclusions, but accept first your ignorance. And now, if we would accept that no one knows really everything, then we would become more humble. We would stop fighting each other. I wouldn't claim, hey, my God, I know truth. This is my holy land. You don't know that. You are just guessing. You have few books. You have some kind, feelings about it, but that's not reality. So we are having issues that most people are not rational. We don't need to expect from people to come to higher awareness. We need from people to become rational. For physical realm, for this physical world and our society, we don't need spiritual people. We need rational people. And those who claim they are spiritual, they are so ignorant and they are the biggest enemy of humanity because they are not using prefrontal cortex. They are not objective about their emotions, about their ideas. They are programmed, conditioned, and they think they are spreading some kind of wisdom. which will save all of us. No, you are spreading ignorance and you are shutting down prefrontal cortex of people. So in my book, and my book can be downloaded for free. It's in PDF. It's called the Life Manual, and I am that book is intended for the evolution of human species. I am explaining we are human, Homo animal, and we are not even Homo animal rationale. So we are Homo animal beast, bestia, and we are Homo animal ovis, Homo animal sheep, and Homo animal sentimentale. When you are positive, when you are empath, and stuff like that, you are still driven by these urges. They could be positive or negative. You are still not using your prefrontal cortex. You are not objectively analyzing your reactions to this. You are just following your feelings, your instincts. So
So
only after Homo animal beast, ovis, and sentimentale comes Homo animal rationale. Someone who is not driven by their feelings. Yes, we have feelings, but you cannot listen feelings. You cannot listen your gut feeling, your inner guru voice. No, forget about it, man. But we are
see,
we are
I just
struggling.
think that's not true. In my experience, that's not true. And
That's okay.
I so like I would be all on board with like the kind of I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and I would be more on board with it totally, like with the purely rational animal or whatever, like transcending that kind of animal state with rationality. But I've had too many irrational experiences for me to get on board with trusting rationality. I've had too many things that don't make sense, aren't explainable, yet have been changed my life and been transformative in ways that I could not plan, could not enact on my own, and was not subject to rationality or data. I've had that happen too many times. I've seen that happen in other people. Unexplainable, irrational encounters or occurrences that change the trajectory of one's life in a way that's unexpected. Wasn't new data that was downloaded. It wasn't increased awareness. It's like or maybe that's part of it, but it's like if there's new data downloaded, where did it come from? There's this reservoir of universal data that can be implanted into someone through an outside agency. That would seem to be borne out by the experiences. Can you test that in a laboratory? I don't know, but just because you can't, I don't think you can dismiss it. And science is great for material progress, but I'm not sure that people are um, necessarily like, we're not as sick today, but I don't know if people are just thriving with happy, joyous lives right now. I don't know that science has solved the problem of anxiety and depression. It seems to actually be exacerbating the problem. And we're on the brink of destroying the whole thing with the great achievements of science in the form of weapons of mass destruction. So, like, I don't really credit science with doing just across the board great things. It's used for terrible things, but it's used for good things. But I don't think we aren't progressing or evolving through science. I think the ego is evolving through science. I don't think who we are, like our core selves, are evolving through the material world ever. We need to return to huts and sticks, and I think we'd be 100 times happier, honestly.
But you see, uh, for inner happiness, for inner fulfillment, we cannot expect external world to make up that, to
Yes.
fix that. And that's the problem of masses. They are at the level of animals. Animal, when he's fed up with everything, has a roof above the head, has food, can reproduce and everything, will be okay. But human animal cannot be okay because human animal suppressed her or his feelings through life. So now when you are relaxed doing nothing, there is tension appearing, and now you think the cause is your life is bad, something's going to happen. No, the life force want to flow through you. When you are focused on something, play computer games, stuff like that, the life force goes through you. But as soon your attention doesn't go somewhere, so you are blocking the flow of that life force.
What is
And
the
we
life
block
force?
go
What is the life force?
attention.
I've
Let's call it attention. let's call
Okay.
it light beam, which is coming from that what we call universal consciousness. So we are little narrow expression of that universal consciousness, and
Wait,
that universal.
can the science can we agree that that's something that's not really explainable in terms of logic, reason, or science, or the current
Oh
data?
yes, oh yes. But you see, problem with science, they became allergic to anything spiritual because really, because of so-called spirituality, we were struggling and we were suffering, and even today, Socrates, 400 BC, 400 years BC, he said the only good is knowledge, the only evil is ignorance. And you know what happened to him? They killed him. So because he didn't believe in gods of that time, and he was polluting the youth minds. So if we stayed with that principle, the only good is knowledge, the only evil is ignorance, today we would be travel between stars. But
Uh-huh.
we had these people, believers, whose prefrontal cortex is shut down, and they kept people not thinking freely. And this is where we are right now. So, and that's the problem with what we call, and science became allergic because they prosecuted scientists, they prosecuted smart people, they killed smart people. And they are completely right. Let's get rid of all these beliefs and these beliefs. Let's have evidence. When we have evidence, we come up with conclusions. And that's fine. Now, they are also coming that something higher is existing. Even science of physical leads you, there is something beyond physical. We just need to give time to science. They will come to this point about consciousness and so on. Let's say Einstein, he said the all fundamental forces and particles in the universe are different manifestations of the single underlying field. But Einstein didn't know even our feelings and thoughts are also manifestations of that single underlying field called life. You can call it Brahman, you can call it cosmic consciousness, you can call it nirvana. There is the ultimate layer of this existence where all this duality is coming from. But we don't need to bother when it comes to physical and our life between in our family and also between states, because for that we need science and we need secular societies. We should stay away from these beliefs and these beliefs. That's your inner world. So how I feel inside based on my spirituality, based on what I do to help myself, that doesn't matter. That will not affect physical reality. In physical reality, we have to follow science, we have to be reasonable, and to understand how this physical reality is operating. The biggest problem is people don't have clear boundaries between knowledge and superstition. So they have a little knowledge like Joe Dispenza. He's talking about something logical, then he add to it all kinds superstition, and then these little glimpses maybe of usefulness which are based in objective reality, they get lost completely, and people get harmed from a religion, people get harmed from new age. So we need to really establish clear boundaries between inner world and awareness, and also physical is not affected by our thoughts and feelings. We should forget that because no one can prove that. So there are institutes who are giving $1 million prize if you can in a scientific controlled environment perform some kind special ability. No one was able to do that. People came, no one was able to do. We have to stop believing this hocus pocus affecting this reality. It doesn't work. Prayer doesn't work. Believing doesn't change objective reality. But insight, the only way how we know that you are really spiritual, not according to some abilities, is are you happy person? Are you rational person? Are you
I
peaceful
don't know.
person?
Prayer changes my reality all the time.
Say again?
Prayer changes my reality all the time. Um, but it's not like I'm trying to move objects with prayer or create numbers in my bank account. But I mean, my reality includes my internal experience, and it seems to change um, it changes my experience of reality. Um, so it has
But
it
you
has an
see,
effect. but it's not in the way that I think is popularly conceptualized. But I have to actually I have to go. I'm we're going on a road trip and I'm already kind of late. But yeah, sorry to
That's
yeah
okay. Thank you.
yeah thank you. Yeah, good conversation. Thanks, Adam. Y'all keep
Okay, yeah.
y'all keep at it. Like yeah, sorry I have to leave in the middle of the talk.
Oh, that's okay. Have a good trip.
All right, thank you. Y'all keep doing your thing, and then
Thank you. Thank you.
let me know what you come up with.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Bird says bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Let me fix the screen here just so I can get it
Hmm.
looking appropriate. Yeah, I'm really appreciate your perspective on everything. I want to get you're in the Discord channel now. Will you link your book in the Discord so I can look at it? And I definitely I want to get your story. I want to have you on my show where you and I can sit down and we can just you can share because I'm super curious about how you arrived at your perspective. And you mentioned being in a cult. You mentioned, and I know you mean kind of like just an organization. I'm curious to know what how you fell into it, whatever organization it was, and then what made you start to see what you've been expressing through the course of this dialogue.
I agree. I agree. It's an interesting story. As well as yours is interesting. I watched a couple of your videos and where you were explaining your opinion about the law of attraction, and your conclusions are really well. I was a little worried. I was thinking, okay, will he now fit in that narrative? Okay, we can affect reality, thoughts as most powerful thing in the universe. And then you thankfully had that experience beyond mind when you saw that you are not even your thoughts. And these experiences are necessary for us when we are talking about these things, because without having these experiences, we cannot really understand. Experience is needed for everything.
Yeah, and it's hard to it seems like the process is a process of language to describe these types of things, to not mislead or appropriate, because I agree with what you were saying, appropriate these things as being otherworldly, because that's not what this is.
And you see, when the read was saying that prayer helped him, we attribute stuff because we don't understand full picture. And then we come to with this partial conclusion. Oh, this happened because of this. No, it didn't. But do we have enough courage? Are we brave enough and honest enough to really explore till the end? Whatever happens, if I get, if my delusions get broken, fine. No, we don't want. And that's when we are in those feelings, when we are at animal level. Feelings are stronger than our prefrontal cortex. And we are not able to challenge the opinions, our conclusions. I have tests when I am communicating with higher being. When I hear voice from God, I said, God, I hear some voice, male, strong voice. I'm asking, who is that? He said, I am God. I said, oh, okay, wonderful. Before we continue, I said, can I ask you a question? He said, of course. Can you tell me what is the square root of number 7? Silence. You know what I do? I ask the question that I don't know answer to. And what happens? Even if I get an answer, when I wake up or when I come back from meditation, I take a calculator and the answer was always wrong.
So yeah, that's a great litmus test. I think what Reed was pointing to, and I'd be curious to know your perspective on. I don't know if you've listened to the recent episode with Roman, but yeah. Roman had an experience where he entered a pit of despair that facilitated a change in his life. And then while Reed was talking, I was thinking about how I got off of drugs and alcohol when I finally stopped. In a lot of ways, I used to attribute the power of prayer in that process as being part of the process, but it actually, whatever it was that occurred was before prayer. Prayer was just a manifestation or expression of something that had already occurred. Or already was or already is. It's hard to say, but I guess I want to ask you is like, where do you see the, you know, I feel like the individual will continue creating a dream for themselves, whether they're aware of it or not, or whether they're willing to be wrong or not. So what is it, would you attribute that brings someone into a space where they're actually able to feel the discomfort of their own delusion or discomfort of their own thought to experience some sort of a shift or a change?
Evolution has its own ways to force us to evolve from our delusions. It's called suffering. So there will be probably you wouldn't be interested in stuff like this if you didn't suffer. If you didn't feel, man, this cannot continue. It cannot continue like this anymore. That's what made me to go on path of self-development, because I wasn't happy. So as long we are hypnotized in this auto-hypnosis and life is okay to us, we don't really have this self-preservation instinct kicked in. So, and we will not leave our comfort zone. So we cannot help. So the certain conditions from evolution standpoint have to be fulfilled for an individual life to keep evolving. So that's all. So a person may be a good listener, he likes to talk about it, but he has no courage, or he's not honest, or he's lazy. He doesn't want to do any work. So there are several conditions, 5, 6 good requirements for us to really start to awake. So you can find several conditions fulfilled, but that person is still lacking several more or one more, and he will not proceed. He's going to still remain in his auto-hypnosis. So in your case, you probably fulfilled all these requirements. And when I'm talking about rationality, I see you are not reacting because you are at this point. And to come that point that you are in right now, those people are rare.
But
Because there are so many. Go ahead.
well, I'm curious, like how do you navigate the terrain given the circumstance of discomfort and challenge to create a shift? Like how do you keep yourself from becoming too comfortable in your own view or experience of yourself?
You see, you already tasted there is something more than what meets the eyes. So you're gonna keep proceeding. And this experience that you had opened your eyes to another reality. And you know all these mind games, religious stuff, new age stuff, you know those people are just stuck in their minds. So this experience gave you so much advantage compared with those who didn't have that experience. So you are safe. You know what reality is, and now only what methods you're gonna use to keep to coming closer to this reality, to keep coming closer to this reality. And that's the only. So you people get still the people have experience, but they know how to again achieve that, and that's the problem. But in my
Oh, wow.
opinion, you're gonna keep searching, you're gonna keep testing, and I offer also certain techniques, and you will probably not find what is the best for you, and you're gonna just keep evolving, and that's it. And you overcame the most difficult part, the mind. You will not stuck. You will not stuck in your mind, because you saw mind as something separated from you. You know that you are an observer. And these people, they think I'm gonna do this. I had NDE, near that experience, and I got mission. What kind of mission you can get when you don't exist as an individual? You don't exist, man. This talker in our mind is coming from our intellect, and we are constantly talking to ourselves. And when you stop talking, you don't exist. And now you think you have some mission. How are you going to have some mission when you are not even existing as an individual? And you got lucky. And this, how you had this experience, maybe there are reasons. You said you don't know why that happened. I know why that happens. So we can analyze what happened to you. Maybe your sexual energy was on high level, because one kundalini is sexual energy. In order to experience something higher, you have to be sexually really potent. So at that time, if you were in celibacy and you had good sexual energy, and also if you had good concentration, which is one more requirement, and you were surrendering to the present, you met those conditions for energy to rise. So there is everything can be explainable. You know,
Where'd you come from? You're in Boston right now?
Bosnia and Herzegovina, that's Southern Europe.
Wow, okay. How did you find our channels and all that?
YouTube, you know, offered me some of your video. And you know what? I'm thinking this what we are talking about. It's not really desirable for people. So
Well,
it's
it
very
is
hard.
though. It really is though, because you're using your language to describe what is seen from this vantage point. Like you're using language. Like I don't know. Like the biggest issue for me was having to catch up to what happened to me. I didn't have words, or I didn't have any. I've not had any real language to describe any of this stuff because it's not knowable from my vantage point. None of this stuff, and like what you just said is, I believe, is the truth. Anytime I think I know what the next thing is or what should or could happen, I'm off. So if I think I know, I'm screwed.
But you may know because you jumped, you skipped lots of stages. When you hit beyond your mind, you skipped lots of these layers of mind. So now you know what is beyond mind. But there are many layers in our mind which we have to go through when we go systematically cleaning up that contents of our mind. But you went beyond your mind. Now you know whatever happens on this path of mind purification, whatever demons you may face, whatever schizophrenic state you may go in, you will still let it go because you know you are pure awareness. And that's so helpful because without this we may get, you know, feeling, oh, I'm gonna die, something, I got crazy. No, that's your mind movie playing, your ego got stuck, but you know who you are. And that's so helpful for you, man. You got blessed from life.
Man, dude, this it's. I'm trying to figure out if you're saying this to me, but if you're saying it to yourself as well. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, definitely. But how I would know about you if I didn't go through that myself? So
Yeah.
I went through all of that. That's what saved me. I had experience at the time the screen and my mind, my all this world, external world was just play a movie on that screen, and I was just silent witness. Nothing. I wasn't involved in this drama at all. I was just witnessing from my transcendental state, and that's when I knew whatever happens to me, it's still drama, mind drama. I will let it go. And I went through hell, man. I went through hell. So it's not easy, you know. That's why people are stuck in the minds because you have to go really through hell.
Do you think
And
that
that's not for. Go ahead.
I'm sure you might explain it. I'll have to read your book when you link it in. But do you think there's a process if somebody? So like I always, I guess I am why I do what I do is I feel like I really would hope that somebody doesn't have to go all the way through hell. That if they experience just their threshold for discomfort was enough. Like it doesn't have to go as far down as, you know what I mean? Like do you think that there's a process? Do you think there's something someone could do to begin
Definitely.
examining themselves?
Definitely. Because there is some unnecessary suffering. Let's say when it comes to diet, I tried many diets. I was vegetarian for decades and I didn't know that that was affecting my health. So I became a vegan. Then I became a raw food eater. Then I became fruitarian. So I hurt my body because I didn't know. So now I can tell other people when I see them in the same conditions where I was, I tell them, look, it's related to a diet. No, no, no. I thought also it's no, no, no. But and now when they change, they don't need to suffer like I was suffering. That's why I wrote this book to help people finally to understand your ego, your level of development, that you don't go to this new age stuff and that you don't waste your time, that you just understand you have to become more aware and more rational and have a healthy lifestyle. That's it. Don't worry about the gods and stuff like that. And so you are right. We can help people because we are pioneers. So we are right now. We are having a really concrete, systematical approach to what we call spirituality. And in my 3 decades, 4 decades, I went through lots of things, all kinds of teachings I tried, and I made many mistakes. And now I learned. And now all these other people who are getting my information from me, they don't need to suffer. They don't need to struggle. When it comes to sexuality, for example, we have two ways. We have celibacy. You suppress sexuality. You are ignoring that. Or you go to tantra. And now sexuality becomes your path toward higher consciousness. And both of these paths are not well. They're not good. So because if you are emphasizing too much sexuality, it can be problem. You're going to wake kundalini. But if you are ignoring completely, you are missing the main energy which has to be transformed into higher frequency. And I went through both these extremes, and I learned how to find the middle path. And I'm now speaking about it, And these people easily who works with me, who is practicing with me, my students, let's call them students. I call them friends. They quickly realize how to help themselves regarding sexuality. But I had to go through Kundalini awakening. I have to be schizophrenic for years because I didn't know what I'm going into. I think you were practicing Taoism. Am I right? Chinese Taoism. Did
Well,
you mention that?
once I discovered Taoism, I discovered it silenced my mind. There was nothing to practice, so it wasn't like I just realized I was like, holy shit, this ancient text that all these people have alluded to is mystical and it's doing something to me. It's have you guys seen this? That's what it was like for me. I wouldn't say I practiced it. I just used it as kind of a tool to describe what my experience is like.
Hey, you see, Adam, you wasted really lots of time when I came in. I had technical issues. I affected your life. Maybe it's enough for you. I can talk and talk, but maybe next time, me and you, we sit and then we talk a certain subject because I'm pretty much involved when it comes into sexuality, when we are talking about chakras, when we are talking about mind, awareness, and stuff like that. And maybe when you check my book, then you can have more questions for me. Then we can talk something concrete because
Yeah,
all
yeah.
your before noon will be spent on this live. I don't want you, you have family and also you are busy
Well,
man.
well, I mean, I've got some time now. Yes, let's schedule this. I just one last question because I'm so curious, and we'll schedule it because what I want to do is I really want to get your story. I want to hear your story, like what your life story. Um,
Yep.
can you just maybe this will just be the last one for now. You mentioned the diet. Could you share a little bit about what you learned about your own diet, and maybe you could help me a little bit?
Yep. Yep. So when I was vegetarian, I was eating 3 or 4 meals a day because I thought I'm eating healthy, but my diet was based on carbohydrates. And I'm wondering why I didn't get diabetes because I was diabetic already. Because if I don't eat a few hours, I'm trembling, I feel I'm shaky. So my blood sugar would go down. But I was vegetarian. We were my yoga friends. We are all vegetarian. Our guru is saying you cannot achieve higher level of consciousness if you are not vegetarian. So, and I also love animals. And I'm thinking about our planet, how to protect planet. So there are many reasons why someone would be vegetarian. But the reality is not as such. So, and when I was 50, I was getting my sporadic issues that I had, sometimes back pain became chronic. So, and I was changing my diet. Then I went to extreme from vegetarian through vegan, through raw food eater to fruitarian. But I destroyed my health. My back hurts. My libido, my sexual, potential was so low. I was so sleepy. And what's going on with me? I tried meat. Then I felt even worse. But I ate a lot. And my whole microbiome was adapted to plants. So I shouldn't, so quickly go to meat. So then I tried once more, but this time I ate just little. And in 7 days, But I also learned about fasting, eat 1 meal a day. And this combination of fasting and coming back to meat and eggs, I got my health back. I got my immune system back. So my libido became better than when I was 20. And it's unbelievable. I'm so sorry that I have to eat meat. I really enjoy watermelon. I enjoy fruit. I would live on fruit, but it ruins my health. So my suggestion is for people to test on themselves. And as I see, these proteins and fat which come from animal, they are much more superior to plants proteins and fat. And I know through my own experience. So I don't know what's your diet, but if you are not having meat, eggs, so you are missing the best fuel for our body. But also we need to eat less. I eat just once a day. And that's it. Fasting, autophagy, and when we eat meal, avoid carbohydrate. You can combine, especially you are younger than me. But if I eat just one apple after my meal, I'm again getting sick. So I lowered my carbohydrates a lot. I eat bread, maybe salad with meat, eggs, and that's it. And everything changed. And you're going to feel that you are healing. If you have any issue, you're going to feel you will start to heal. Because the high blood sugar is the biggest problem today of humanity. And you can use your mind power. You can try with your prayer. But unless you change your diet and start fasting, you will not be healthy.
Well, that's
your
great.
Bliss, your peace, your harmony with nature will not help you because this body is affected by the fuel we are putting in. And carbohydrates are really, and grains and stuff like that, they are not really good for us. But I didn't learn this from Guru. My guru still is vegetarian. He has high blood pressure, high cholesterol. He's getting insulin every day. He had 7 stents in his veins. He has a pacemaker. So he is sick. But we were thinking he's taking our karma. That's why he got sick. No, gurus are sick because they are vegetarian and they eat poor diet and too much sugary stuff. That's why they're sick, not because of karma.
Is he still
But
your guru?
No. Am I still with my guru?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, this was then?
Yeah, that was before. He could destroy me with his teachings because he was spreading also Hinduism. You know what they do? They cannot offer you clear knowledge and clear practical techniques. We should delete all unnecessary stuff. We should update whatever needs to be updated. No, they don't do that. They dress the way, their ancestors dressed. They are using mantras in Hindu. Why we need that? So what are main principles behind behind our activities? When you find those principles, if you are a fighter, you want to fight. The main principle is you have to know how to fight, not how you look. You perform some exercises; they are beautiful, but then comes an ordinary man and slaps you. Game over. Your dancing will not help you. You see, so people lost. People are not able to go to the bottom. Why we are doing something? What is the real meaning of it? No, the meaning is not important. We are talking about God, so we are talking about God. But where is God? Oh, God, maybe God is here. No. Let me show you in the Bible. You see, and God supposed to be here, but no. So people lost what is pointing to the moon with your finger. They are all discussing about finger. Oh, okay, this my finger. Come out and enjoy my finger. Put my finger in your mouth. Let me put my finger in your prefrontal cortex. And that's what we do. So diet is really for physical body. Diet is number one. Air is also then important. Sleeping is important. Physical exercises. And when you bring these several, 4, 5 conditions, physically you're going to feel better and better. But diet is number one.
Man. Okay, well then to be continued.
Thank you.
You answered my question. I'm great. I'm so glad we got the technical difficulties sorted and you were able to come on the show, and we'll get back together. We'll plan a time and you and I'll sit down and we'll continue the dialogue.
Thank you very much, Adam. And just I'm gonna send you a link in your Discord account.
Yes.
Or somewhere, and you can check it out my book, because you are so reasonable man, and that's my family. I'm looking for rational people, because we're gonna go extinct with all this delusional stuff. What's going on? Everyone is threatened. We look what they are doing to us. What they are doing to you? You are sitting on the couch. You go to fridge, grab food. You didn't wake up in the morning and chase some animal to get the food. You go on toilet. You let it go. You open the window. When you come back, everything's clear again. And I remember when we had a toilet outside, and every yard was smelling bad, because there is no this sewage system. So people don't respect what we got. And that's why I'm trying. We need this society. We need this human form. If we go extinct, those people who died already, they are not able to incarnate. And if I don't achieve nirvana in this life, I'm going to need body too. So I have to fight that we remain at least rational, not spiritual. Forget about awareness. That we remain rational about our physical health, about primary things in our life, and that we keep this planet functioning and this human society available to us if we have to reincarnate again. And maybe you and me, this is maybe our last life. You have potential, and I think I have too. So maybe we're gonna help maybe from the other side as a spirit. I'm joking, forget about spirits. I don't need any spirit. I'm saying if Jesus came, or Muhammad, and he brought a roll of toilet paper, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
But to come and just talk, and everyone's mouth smells bad, and our armpit smells bad, full of parasites, and they're talking about God. Give me something practical. Don't just talk. I don't need that. That's why I appreciate science, It really helped us to become humans. Otherwise, how we would be dressed right now if we didn't have science. Some animal, fur of animal skin, and me and you walking through the forest, and tiger jumps on your back, and you, hey, God, there is no God. You would be eaten by that tiger. So we are lucky ones that we are in this time right now, because our parents, they didn't have this privilege that we have right now. And we are at the edge now, when we have all potential. But if we don't participate in this awareness awakening and gratitude, awakening gratitude for what we already have, and to bring people to prefrontal cortex, so we're going to lose all of this. We're going to again go back to the Stone Age, and people will have again their gods. They're going to pray, but no one will have underwear. Stuff like that. So Adam, thank you very much, and thank you to your viewers, man. And I'm looking forward to that we again discuss. These are very important things, because we are talking about life, and how we can activate this brain to scan itself, to check out those files, to delete that system junk, cookies, caches. In our brain, there is lots of stuff, but this brain, which is completely I would say malfunctioning, knows everything. And now you have these people, when they come together, they are discussing with this deficient brain what's going on, how to solve problems. Hey, you have to start from yourself. Check your brain. No. Let me tell you what to do. Forget about me. I'm okay. So that's what happens now. People are really not aware about these basic things, that we become a really rational human being, a rational animal. Sorry. So that's it, my friend.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Good to see you here, Simon. Bird, I hope you have a good rest of your afternoon, morning, evening, or good night. And at Maitreya, to be continued.
Yeah. Hey, guys, please support this channel. This is beautiful channel. I will talk to my people on my YouTube channel, I know our brain is always programmed not to give anything because we are always feeling give it to us, and that's not fault of people. So when you tell them, hey, give me give a like, and that's the brain, this animal brain kicks in because he's afraid for self-preservation. What if I give something from me? So I may lose. So this brain is constantly afraid to give. But if you want to be really human, we have to train ourselves to give. So whenever you see some video, whenever you find short video and you laugh about this video, give a like to that person who created that video. This way you are helping yourself to evolve into human stage where you're going to just keep giving and creating and loving and supporting. That's a true our nature. Human nature is to support, to give, to always get everyone on at a good level. But if you are okay, no, it's not. I don't need to like. So your animal brain is telling you preserve your resources, and this way you're gonna preserve your resources, but you're gonna remain an animal. So if you want to evolve and go to abundance and get from the source love, peace, and bliss, you have to start giving. So we need to support these people who are really supporting humanity, like Adam. Adam, thank you very much, man.
Oh yeah,
Thank
thank
you very
you.
much.
Yeah. I'll see you next time.